Hi everybody, my name is Madison Desmond and I'm going to be talking a little bit about my philosophy of education. So who am I? I'm a student, a writing enthusiast, and I have a passion for teaching English. I have my BA in English from CSUCI with an emphasis in education. And my main goal is to successfully complete the credential program and become an educator. With that, I aspire to impact lives every day, even in some small way, and give students a place to share their ideas, opinions, and their challenges. So what is the purpose of education? I believe that the main purpose for education is providing a process for human intellectual and social growth, giving students the opportunity to broaden knowledge and understanding of not only content-specific subjects like in math or science or English, but just a knowledge and understanding of the world around us. With the implementation of Common Core, college and career readiness are a huge component, which helps students climb the economic ladder and contribute to a strong national economy. So it's definitely one of the main purposes of education. Another one is to foster an acceptance and awareness of diverse cultures, experiences, identities, and viewpoints, which is a huge thing that I would like to foster in my own classroom, and to create well-informed citizens and encourage civic participation, which is so important in our world. So two of the main roles in school are the role of the teacher and the role of the student. So for teachers, I think the roles are to provide opportunities for learning, to celebrate diversity in the classroom, to make students aware that it's okay to be from different backgrounds or different cultures or have different viewpoints, to facilitate collaboration and discussion, which is really something that a teacher has to show students how to do a lot of times, to notice students, their struggles and successes, which means that you might have to make accommodations for differentiation and for different assessment plans for students with special needs and things like that. So really noticing each and every student and building upon their successes and helping them with their struggles. So the roles of the student are to take responsibility for their own work. They, at the secondary level, are certainly capable of doing that. To be respectful and open-minded towards their peers in discussions and just in the classroom environment in general. To put their best effort into all classroom activities and work. To actively learn, which means really engaging in the process, which includes being willing to struggle sometimes in order to learn, which also takes some work on the part of the teacher to allow students to struggle. To celebrate their own diversity, which certainly parallels one of the roles of the teacher, and to ask questions and communicate when necessary. I love this quote here. It says, "Teachers have three loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first two loves together." And that is written by Scott Hayden. So in thinking about goals for my students, first, my subject area is English. So in thinking about what to teach and how goals can be related to that, I want to give my students an increased sense of literacy using strategies as well, which I'll talk about a little bit later. To have a better understanding of the human experience by reading a variety of works, which I think is so important, exposing students to a variety of different genres and texts and types of reading and understanding. Really, a goal is to help my students consider tough, complex questions to contribute to, a more critical viewpoint. So really allowing students to grapple with tough questions that impact their lives. Learn how to have productive, collaborative discussions together and become better writers. So what is so special about adolescence? In my opinion, there's a lot that you can do with adolescents because they're in such a time of transition. They're building their increasing awareness and curiosity of the world around them, which really is impactful in the classroom. Adolescents are undergoing major changes, including developing a sense of identity and individuality, which is why it's so important in high school classrooms and in classrooms in general, but specifically high school, to really expose them to texts that mirror themselves or that give them new insights into different cultures. And they really are on the cusp of joining the real world, as a lot of people call it. Therefore, they're thinking about their future, which is a really interesting place to be in, which can cause a lot of anxieties or just some uncertainties. And why do I want to teach adolescents? So I think of every day as an opportunity to share knowledge and experience with my students. Standards and curriculum are definitely the main focus and should be really emphasized, but that doesn't have to be all that's taught in school. There definitely can be these hidden messages and meanings and activities and things like that. They are at a crucial point in developing their sense of self and ideals and navigating new challenges and being exposed to new people, which I think is really impactful. And I believe that the most important job is to be a support and a guide for students through these times and expose them to diverse worldviews and perspectives that they will be exposed to after they leave school. So how do adolescents learn? I think when they are able to apply what they've learned to something meaningful, like a project or something that really affects their lives, I think they learn really well in that sort of environment. When learning takes place in a variety of different ways, which sort of gets at the student learning styles. When the learning connects to their lives in some way, when they can see the bigger picture of what they're learning. When they feel their identity is reflected in the things they're learning, which comes in an ELA classroom with bringing in diverse texts and videos and accounts and things like that that really show students that their identities are reflected in their learning. And when all learning styles are taken into consideration. So this video here really does show all of the different learning styles that students have and how different students learn. And so as the teacher, I think it's important to keep those learning styles in mind. So impact of instruction really comes in 3 different sections, which is subject matter and curriculum, strategies, and then assessment. So in looking at the subject matter and curriculum that I'll teach, the Common Core state standards really have their literacy standards that provide you with general focuses, some being reading, writing, listening, and speaking, which really can be the guide for a lot of the activities and things you do in the classroom. In general, I want to teach curriculum that is essential question-driven, that allows students to explore questions, subject matter that encourages diverse thinking and opinions. My curriculum will include various types of text, genres, and modalities, which really comes from bringing different types of text or video into the classroom, like blogs or podcasts or videos or canonical literature versus new age literature like graphic novels and things like that. So including various different types of texts is really important. And not only will I teach the content, but provide students with learning strategies, which is what we'll get into now. So some instructional strategies are to incorporate technology-based learning, which is really important. This could come in through Google Docs. This could come in through fun activities like Kahoot or essay mapping, different strategies that show students that they can access different things online to help them learn. Reading minutes are a really important strategy in my opinion. So students will listen to a passage that I read every day before class begins, and it'll be just a quick minute and they'll answer a guided question. And as the semester progresses and students are more comfortable with this, you can assign students each day, a different student each day, to come in and bring their own reading minute of an article from a newspaper, or from online, or from a book they love. And that will really help students feel that you're valuing their identity. And they'll read it out loud to students, and then students will answer a question. And guided discussion-based learning, which is really important to allow students to collaborate. So how will students be assessed? There are 3 different phases: entry level, formative, and summative. So for entry level, gauging sort of where they're at beforehand, free writes and Google Form surveys are tools that I can use. Formative is exit slips, short papers, and responses, which will allow me to gauge their learning throughout the unit. And summative at the very end could be group presentations, final papers, and final exams to know how the students learned throughout the entire unit at the very end. So as a future educator, I believe I can make a difference in each student who steps into my classroom. Adolescence is, as I've discussed, a time of discovery, change, and awareness, and it really takes a great and attentive teacher to build upon these in the classroom for learning. Students should be challenged and given many opportunities to question and form their own claims. I really do believe questioning is one of the most powerful things we can teach students how to do. And by listening to one another, they will be exposed to different cultures, backgrounds, and opinions, which will make them better human beings and better contributors to our society, that then they can go out and make a difference. Thank you.